Multicellular organisms are living organisms that are composed of two or more cells that work together to perform specialized functions. Unlike unicellular organisms that are composed of a single cell, multicellular organisms have a higher level of complexity and organization. In this explanation, we will discuss the characteristics, classification, and examples of multicellular organisms in depth. Characteristics. Multicellular organisms are composed of two or more cells that are organized into tissues, organs, and systems. Cells in multicellular organisms are specialized to perform specific functions, such as carrying oxygen, digesting food, or providing structural support. Multicellular organisms have a complex and organized structure that allows them to carry out complex processes, such as reproduction and development. They have the ability to adapt to changing environments through genetic diversity, sexual reproduction, and evolution. Classification. Multicellular organisms can be classified into four main groups: animals, plants, fungi, and protists. Animals. Animals are multicellular organisms that are heterotrophic, meaning they obtain their food by consuming other organisms. They are composed of different types of tissues, such as muscle, nerve, and connective tissues. They reproduce sexually and have complex systems for mating and caring for their offspring. Examples of animals include mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects. Plants are multicellular organisms that are autotrophic, meaning they produce their food through photosynthesis. They have specialized tissues for transporting water, nutrients, and photosynthetic products. They reproduce sexually and asexually and have complex systems for pollination and seed dispersal. Examples of plants include flowering plants, ferns, mosses, and algae. Fungi are multicellular organisms that are heterotrophic, meaning they obtain their food by absorbing nutrients from other organisms. They have a cell wall made of chitin and reproduce sexually and asexually. They have specialized structures for spore production and dispersal. Examples of fungi include mushrooms, yeasts, and molds. Protists are unicellular or multicellular organisms that have eukaryotic cells. They have diverse structures and functions, and they can be photosynthetic, heterotrophic, or both. They reproduce sexually and asexually and have diverse systems for motility and feeding. Examples of protists include amoebas, algae, and slime molds. Humans are multicellular animals that have complex systems for digestion, respiration, circulation, and reproduction. They have specialized cells and tissues that allow them to perform a wide range of functions such as movement, sensation, and cognition. Oak trees are multicellular plants that have a complex structure with roots, stems, and leaves. They produce oxygen through photosynthesis and provide habitats for many other organisms. Mushrooms are multicellular fungi that have a complex structure with a cap and a stem. They play an important role in decomposition and nutrient cycling in many ecosystems. Seaweeds are multicellular protists that are photosynthetic and provide habitat and food for many marine organisms. Basically, multicellular organisms are composed of two or more cells that work together to perform specialized functions. They have a higher level of complexity and organization than unicellular organisms and can be classified into animals, plants, fungi, and protists. Multicellular organisms have diverse structures and functions and play important roles in many ecosystems.